you're familiar with 5Fprep,
Yes.
and I'd love to know, do you feel like 5Fprep could help some of these seniors, juniors, and seniors of high schools really start thinking about preparing for college in a more sophisticated way, just to look into it a little more deeply and to be able to assess how they can be successful in college and beyond? And if so, what are some of the things you think 5Fprep offers?
Well, thank you for the question. I appreciate the opportunity to answer that question. I do think that 5Fprep can be extremely helpful to students because 5Fprep seems to really look at a child holistically and help a student be successful in a variety of ways. And part of that is thinking in ways that they may not necessarily think of in terms of one of the presentations I've heard you give has to do with t-shirts that you receive at college when there's credit card companies lined up on the quad or in the student center, and for a t-shirt you get a t-shirt if you fill out this application, and understanding the real cost of that t-shirt. And students don't always have that understanding, and so that's one tiny example of the 5Fprep curriculum, but one that really resonated with me because no one ever said to me before I went to college that that t-shirt's going to cost you, and it may cost you years of heartache because you took that t-shirt in that moment, but I'd never talked about the t-shirt before that moment. And so that's certainly one example. I can share with you, I received an email from a parent whose son went through the 5Fprep curriculum, and her email was incredibly positive and gave much praise to the curriculum because she felt like it made such a difference in her son's life, and her son was so much more prepared for college and for life beyond high school. So I can say to you, based on this parent's email and response, that it absolutely makes a difference. As a principal, I can say I know it makes a difference because it asks our students to really examine and really reflect on who they are and who they want to be. And then particularly some of the content that you share in terms of goal setting and writing down your goals. That was something that resonated with me personally when we first met. The fact that at the time I wasn't writing down goals, and I needed to write them down. I certainly had goals and could tell them to you ad nauseum, but writing them down makes them real. And so having our students really talk about, I want to fill in the blank. And then beginning to think, what does it take to make that happen? Because saying I want to doesn't make it happen, as you know. It's doing the little steps underneath. So I'm a believer in the program and have seen it successfully implemented, and proud to have had the opportunity to be on the outside a little bit.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. And yeah, the power of goal setting, I always feel like that's the finale of the program, because that's where it all starts. And it's where it's going to all finish as well. And just writing something down is kind of, you look at it and it forces clarity and accountability for your dreams. But it makes those dreams become a reality, or it puts your fantasies down on paper, then it equals a real goal.
That's right.
And so many people are afraid to actually write down what they dream about. But it's really exciting, and so that's something I'm very passionate about, and encouraged that you would get an email from a parent that would talk about that, because that's the heartbeat, is to make sure that students go ahead dreaming big and being willing to work for it because they've set the goals. And so, Mr. Jackson, I really appreciate the time. 2011 North Carolina Principal of the Year here, and hope to be able to continue our relationship.
Thank you, sir.